me start again. Wait, let me start again. I didn't have it ready. We'll act like that didn't happen. Yeah, you ready?
I wasn't late for work.
No, it wasn't you.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Okay. I think we have it. No, not there. There we go. Hey, it's time for the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Onnela.
Put a redneck in the White House if you really want to see some change. If you're mad cause gas keeps going up and the dollar's going down the drain. And if you're sick of crooked politics and the road that we're on now, put a redneck in the White House and straighten this whole thing out.
Kevin Onnela. Now we're ready. Are we ready?
I just want to clarify one thing to anybody that might listen to us, if there is somebody.
What's that?
I'm not late for work ever. Sometimes we get on the radio late.
Yes.
Sometimes we're out of order.
Yes.
But we're good.
Yes. No, you were here. You've been here for over a half hour.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been fixing the world.
I come in early so I can go home late.
Commiserating about society in general and everything else. And
I was just saying to you, Steve, I almost think about stopping doing this on Tuesdays because I read the news all the time, and I watch the news, and I go from channel to channel, and I read Breitbart, and I even go to Facebook for more news. And
oh, well, don't do that.
Yeah, but,
stay away from there.
It gets discouraging after a while, and I've had a bad couple of weeks. It seems like every time I go to work, I smash something. If I was my son, I'd absolutely fire me.
Why? What have you broken?
Everything. So I have brake hoses on the truck. I have brake cans that fall apart. I do this. I do that. It seems like every time.
It's not your fault.
Huh?
It's not your fault. You drive like an old woman.
I do. It only go 50 miles an hour.
Right.
I never go over 50 miles an hour because that truck only goes 50 miles.
No matter the speed limit. You only go 50 miles per hour.
It doesn't matter what the speed limit is. If you go just 50, you're going good. You're safe. So
even in 30s.
Yeah, even in the 30s. Well, that's only 20 over.
Exactly.
So it's pretty close. But what happens when I'm in a 65? I was on the interstate yesterday. Mm-hmm. I was still only doing 50. Mm-hmm. So I'm making up that 15 miles an hour to use it someplace else.
Right. It's all cumulative.
It's all cumulative. Right. So and I have not had any complaints from the police that the windmills are spinning on the door in this truck because it goes so slow, and everything's been good. So,
but your truck, Red's truck, the truck that you drive, keeps breaking.
Yeah, everything breaks on it. I guess I hate to call and say, "Well, we got this broke." Yesterday, something I do constantly. I go down to Naughton's, wonderful people, mm-hmm. and I go down a brief stretch of 114 from the last light in Bradford to Naughton. So on the way down through there, I push the button on the tapper just to bring it up so it catches on the driver's side rear corner of the box, which it does inevitably.
So for those that don't know, what is a tapper?
Tapper is the canvas that goes over the thing, and it's got two arms, and it automatically goes out and automatically comes in if you push the button.
Mm-hmm. So it covers up the
load so I don't spread trash all over the road. Okay. And even sometimes something will sneak out from underneath there. So I'm going down through there. I go a couple hundred yards on 114, and I push the button until I see it come up and catch the corner of the box. And then when I go around the sharp swing to the right, I push the button again because the tapper swings to the right a little bit, to the left. I'm going to the right. The tapper swings to the left, and it unhooks from that corner of the box, and it rolls up. I don't have to get out there and yank and pull and get somebody to help me. I figured this all out. It works perfect. Just an easy deal. So from there, I hold the button, and it rolls the tap all the way up, and I pull up on the scales and go about my business.
Sure.
Yesterday, which I've done this, I do it 1 to 6 times a day, every day. And yesterday, I look in, of course, I watch the tap roll up on the driver's side, so it's all rolling up, and it stopped rolling up. So I look back in the mirror on the passenger side, which you've got to look to the front, to the rear, to the sides. I didn't know we had to look up overhead, but the tapper arm's dragging on the ground. So
your tapper?
My tapper arm dragging it behind me. So
okay.
I get out and I try to straighten it out a little bit, and put it up so it'll stay on the truck, and go up to the garage, and the guys up there help me straighten it out a little bit, and we fold the over front once, put a strap on it so I can drive it home, dump the box. Now, I mean, I do this 1 to 6 times every day. Mm-hmm. Even sometimes do it on a Saturday. So I go down, dump my box, go down, go to leave. I finally figured out what's happened. They put a new cable wire in. A new internet wire in, which is supposed to be over 16 feet. Anything going across the road or a driveway is supposed to be, I think roads have got to be more than 16 feet. But so somebody had tangled up in that because it probably wasn't over 16 feet. And then they went out and fixed it. They just did it like a farmer. They wired it up. So that's what yanked that off there. You know, even try to do things. You do the same thing every day, and if it works, it's not insanity. If you do it over and over and everything turns out wrong, it's insanity.
Right, but you've been doing this the right way all this time.
Yeah. So,
and now you've got another thing you have to work around.
So I sent a notice and I quit last night.
How'd that
Now what did you do? And he was good because I'd fire me.
Have you unquit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd fire me. I would. I really would. You know, it's nothing I do wrong, but I'd fire me.
Yeah, but where is he going to find somebody that has the work ethic that you have?
I think everybody does now.
Yeah.
We get this new society we're doing. Everybody wants to go to work.
You know who's making money these days?
Only the people in government.
No, I figured it out. There's one industry that should be making money right now.
Pfizer?
Well, no. Well, that too. Yeah. The people that make help wanted signs.
Everywhere you go.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. The help wanted sign people.
Yeah.
That's a good industry to be in right now.
I was just read something written by my other son, Ernie Shepard.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked about these people giving these bonuses. Well, don't just start people and say whatever you want to start them at. If you start them at 10, 12, 15. And then if after 90 days they work out, don't give a bonus. Give them a raise right then and there. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you can't enthuse people to come and do that. You can't. I mean, if you're going to start off at, say, $10, $12, $15 an hour, you're not going to go there, you know, without a bonus of $2,000 or $3,000. And I watch this employment thing, and it's just horrible. I mean, Ruger can't get anywhere near what they need for people, and they're a good company, and they're good people. And I've thought about this. Now the way this farmer would fix it, across the road where they have that little parking lot, which they don't fill anymore because they can't get enough people to work, I would put a daycare there.
Well, so they've talked about that. That's actually been talked about for a couple of years, trying to make that work.
But the problem is everybody's worried about somebody being sued. No. I mean, I think that is because you get children there, and it just
no, it's not.
It's not. What is the problem?
They were working with Cinnamon Street.
Yeah.
To try to get them to do that. It's just trying to have overnight daycare. Is, I guess it's a struggle for some reason. So the thought was to have 24-hour daycare. So if you're working
night shift,
you'd have a place to bring your kids at night, and they'd sleep there, and then you pick them up in the morning when you go. That there was some, I believe, and so don't quote me, I could be off here.
No, where's Cinnamon Street?
Right across from La Valleys, right next to the car wash.
Yeah.
So since they're right there, that was the thought process. And I think that there's certain restrictions or laws about having overnight daycare, that it's not the same as having during the day daycare.
Well, but you know, and I watched that Cinnamon Street. I didn't realize what the name of it was because I go by there all the time. And I think in the morning they have the kids, they bring them out on the front lawn to go to kindergarten. Some of them probably go to kindergarten.
Yes.
Or preschool.
Yes.
And then they bring them back, which I thought that was a great idea because you could take, say you had a child that was the 5th grade, you lived in Newport and you didn't want to leave them alone. You could take them to the daycare. They could check in there, and then the bus would stop there and pick up 30 kids instead of one every 50 feet down Route 10. And I just, you know, it's a struggle. No matter what you do, it's tough to get people to want to come to work and stick it out. We had a setup there where we started out, we gave a rate per hour, and everybody got paid. And then you have people that would go drink beer on a night and wouldn't show up the next day. And so we started doing a bonus at the end of the month, and I think it was like $3 or $4 an hour. 160 times $4. I mean, you're up to like $600 there that you're going to take home for the last paycheck. And instead of giving raises into the net regular salary, which you got no matter what, as long as you worked, you got that bonus at the end, people didn't miss work. And and the people that were good workers were the ones that got the bonus every month.
Right.
You know, we had a guy that worked with us. I'll even use his name, Ken Morris. He worked with us for quite a while, and he was going to get done. And the day before he was to get done on a Thursday night, his buddies came to get him and took him down to the bar. And he said, "No, I need my bonus. I want to go to work. This is my last day of the month." And blah, blah, blah. Well, he didn't come in. He never even. But he was a great worker. But he never even came in for his final paycheck.
Oh, really?
When Debbie went to send him his W-2, was it? No, 1099. W-2.
W-2.
W-2. She said, "Well, what do we do about this check for Ken?" I said, "You send it to him with your W-2. You got to send him that, so send him the check too." And she did.
Yep.
And he came back and, thanked me for that. He was embarrassed that he didn't show up, but he's a good worker.
Sure.
He's one of the people that America needs. So
I think everything's changed. We were going this way anyway. This is the direction that Bernie Sanders and AOC and everybody has been promoting for a long time. This $15 per hour minimum wage. So now with zero government intervention on the minimum wage, businesses are now raising their rates.
to probably well over 15.
We're getting close to it. And for McDonald's, and I know McDonald's gets the brunt of all this because they're always thought of one of those places that doesn't pay well.
Right.
But you can work at McDonald's now for $14.75 an hour making hamburgers. If you can even get in now, but you're gonna pay for it. You're not gonna get to be able to feed your family for $10 anymore at McDonald's.
Right, because it's all going to go up. It's inflation.
It's expensive. I don't get McDonald's. I don't like McDonald's. It makes me sick. That said, Christine and Samara wanted McDonald's this past weekend. I'm like, I'll run into town. I'll pick it up. I don't even care.
What's that noise?
It's this thing.
Oh, I thought we had a mouse chewing on the wires or
this.
something.
So I went in and I ended up getting myself a cheeseburger. I'm like, heck with it. I will deal with a stomach ache. I'm not going to get them food, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat. So, and I got myself a milkshake too, because, if I'm doing this, I'm treating myself. It was like $14. It was like a Big Mac meal, a quarter pounder of cheese, milkshake, and a cheeseburger. Like $13, $14 for that.
Yeah.
With only one thing of French fries. Like, if we were to get the fries and the drinks and everything, you're looking at $20 for 3 people. Where McDonald's used to be able to eat dinner for $3.
Yeah. So we go about this, and we worry about the Chinese have slave labor and stuff like that. And some of the people don't make a lot of money. But the only thing that really matters in this world is your standard of living. Are you fed? Do you have housing that's adequate?
Yep.
It really doesn't matter. I mean, I don't. If I hadn't invested in stuff, I wouldn't make any money at all now. And instead of doing things, I could have bought a new boat. I could have bought this. I could have had a new Corvette, whatever. I didn't. I put it into stuff that I thought was going to return money to me, and it did.
Right.
And I was fortunate that way. My wife and I, we spent $1 million buying land. Every dime we made, we put into to buying land and investing in things that did well, and that's definitely paid off for us. Now we get paid every year to rent our land, and it doesn't matter how much you make per hour, per day, per year, per job. It's what you do with that money afterwards.
Right.
I mean, if you go buy a 30-pack of beer and stand looking at the urinal for the rest of the night after you're done with it, did that do you anything? Not that if you wanted to have a couple beers, have a couple beers, but save some of the money and put it where it'll grow.
Right.
I was thinking about Bitcoin.
Okay, so
I'm just picking on you, Steve.
No, I don't care.
You know that.
I'm still fascinated with this cryptocurrency stuff. And I really think that I just pulled it up now to take a look at where it's at. So Bitcoin right now is at $43,000 a Bitcoin. If you were to buy Bitcoin 1 year ago today, it was $10,400 1 year ago today. So now it's 43,000.
Yeah.
It's not a bad growth in a year.
Yeah.
That said, it was up to 64,000. I don't know. So El Salvador is the first country to now legalize Bitcoin. It is legal tender in El Salvador. And I guess there's like 2 other countries that are looking to legalize this as their nation's currency. As this banking thing that Joe Biden is trying to do, where the banks have to notify if you put $600 or more into the bank, they have to notify the federal government.
So everybody's going to put $5.99 in.
Everybody's going to put $5.99 in, but also what I can foresee happening is, well, just pay me in cryptocurrency, because pay me in Ethereum, pay me in Dogecoin, pay me in Bitcoin.
Then there's going to be no.
I'm not paying any taxes.
Any taxes,
tax-free money,
right.
And I can hide it, and I can move it.
But before we go any further, before we get away from this, you can go to your bank, and I believe Bar Harbor has it. You can have them put your name on the petition to not do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I saw a bank in New Hampshire is doing that.
Okay. I think all the banks are doing it.
Probably.
But let's just think about this, Steve. No matter what you do, if you're a private contractor and you work and you do work for me and I pay you, right? Yep. At the end of the year, if it's over so much money, if it's over $700, I am forced to send you a 1099.
Over $600. $5.99.
Is it 600?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, 600. Okay.
Yep.
So I have to send you a 1099.
Sure.
All right. So that 1099, you get a copy, and the federal government gets a copy. When I get paid for the lease of our property or selling timber, I get a 1099 from the company that bought the timber, or the wind farm pays me the money. They send me a 1099, and I have to pay taxes on that.
Right.
So why would you want to knock this down to 600? Can you imagine the paperwork it's going to put through this, and what it's going to do to? I mean,
what they're saying. So the argument is that $3 trillion is lost in taxes a year from people not filing.
It probably costs they're going to put all kinds of new IRS agents on. It's probably going to. Yeah. I don't. By not filing, okay, there's a different story. If you have a Social Security number, you should match that Social Security number up to the tax returns you get. And if you don't get one, well, we got a problem, Houston. Let's go get them.
So let's do a for instance that I come and I brush hog your field for you. You're sick of it. I'm going to do all your fields. I'm going to mow them all down, and I charge you $600. You pay me $600 in cash. I take that $600, I put it in the bank. Woohoo! I made $600 under the table. We didn't tell anybody. You didn't give me a 1099. I'm not claiming it on my taxes. Right. We're good. With this new banking thing, now that $600, red flag, government, there's $600 I was put into your account.
Why would you put $600 all at once, right? You put $300.
Right. But
I got a gift from
I'm an idiot.
Tuesday.
I'm an idiot, and I put $600 in, and now I'm not claiming it. So with now the new Biden banking rule is that red flag. Now it's reported. So now when I do my taxes, the government's gonna be like, "Hey, you put $600 in on September 21st."
Steve, we better bring this down to $1, hadn't we? Because I mean, you could do 300 at a whack.
Yeah.
You could do $5.99 and keep $1 in your pocket so you buy a coffee someplace, maybe.
Right.
You know, it's just to me, it's stupid.
It's going to create a lot more black market stuff.
If we'd all just go back to paying cash for stuff instead of checks and credit cards, our country would be stronger.
So this is my suggestion that will never take off. First of all, strip the IRS completely of their duties, and then
so they can't chase after people like who were the Republicans there, the new party,
Donald Trump.
No. What was that group that trying to get Trump elected, and it was I can't think of the name of them. And they didn't give them the tax exempt status and stuff. I can't think of the name of them. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
So strip the IRS of their duties. And then break the IRS into 2 different pieces. See, the IRS is the Internal Revenue Service.
Service?
Yes, that's their job. I would spin half of it into the IAA, which I would create as president.
IAA?
Yeah, the Internal Auditing Agency.
Okay.
So instead of having the government watching the people, have them watch the government.
The people watch the government.
And have the IAA, my new agency, audit the government for wasteful spending.
Yeah.
And so they'd be the internal auditing agency. You audit everything. Where's the money being spent? Can we do this cheaper? And let's see if we can now cut back on spending. And then conversely, you still have to have the IRS because you need to collect taxes. But instead of the Internal Revenue Service, call them the Internal Tax, Internal Tax Collectors. And you'd have a nationwide sales tax, nationwide employment tax, income tax, and a nationwide corporate tax. Simplify it and get rid of all other taxes. There's no exemptions. You don't get any of that stuff. None of it.
No exemptions?
Maybe you can create some.
I mean, if you're going to expand your company so that it's stronger for the country, you're better off to still have some of that.
Yeah, but let's make it simple so everybody pays not just their fair share but the equal share. So nationwide sales tax, 9%, 10%, whatever the number is. Let's just say 10 to make it easy. 10% nationwide sales tax. You know who pays that? Every single person. Illegal immigrants, the rich, the poor.
Yeah, if we just go to a sales tax, that's all we need to do.
Yeah, blacks, whites, Latinos. It doesn't matter. Everybody pays the same.
So if you get welfare, say you get $100 of welfare, right?
Fine, I pay it.
You go to buy your 30-pack of Coors Light. You're going to pay the
10%.
10% on that.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to pay it.
Sure.
But no, that's not fair because
No, it is fair. It's 1,000% fair.
I know it is.
It's exactly fair.
I was being facetious.
Oh, I know. And then you do an income tax. Let's say 9, 10%, whatever the number is. Everybody pays the same. If you're Jeff Bezos or if you're Steve Smith.
But see, that's the problem. We don't reward the people who do things right in life, right? In our town, we had a 1% discount on taxes if you paid your taxes within 10 days, which is the right way to do it, right?
No, I disagree, but continue. I disagree with you on this, but
okay. All right. So you pay your taxes. They don't have to chase you around. It doesn't go down the road 2 years where they're charging you the 18% interest. Now, you're already a poor person because you can't afford to pay your taxes. So they're adding 18% to a year. So eventually they're going to own your house.
Sure.
Right? So they give this discount of 1%. Kevin, Debbie, they make their check out. They go down there the very last day they can do it. Give them the check. Pay our taxes off. The wind farm, they pay their taxes off. They get a $7,000 discount. So you go to your town and you say to one of the select person, well, why did you take this away? Poof, they say. It's only benefits one person. I says, yeah, it benefited me. What's wrong with that? I mean, I pay my bills on time. We want everybody to pay their bills on time. I mean, if you do advertisement for a restaurant in town and they don't pay you, don't you want to get paid? Everybody gave me 2% discount. And so they only benefits one person. I said, well, yeah, it benefits me. I get 1% of $24,000 off, and I think that's great. The guy in the town meeting, well, wind farm got $7,000 off. They paid $700,000.
Right.
So, I mean, if everybody paid all their bills and did everything they're supposed to, we wouldn't have any problem at all anyway.
Right.
But I just...
The reason I disagree with the 1% discount, and this is up to towns if they want to do that. I would never support it just because you still have to make up that revenue. You still have to make up. So if you budget, you base your taxes on a certain budget.
Okay. So you have an article in your warrant, most towns do, that you can borrow money in anticipation of taxes, correct?
Yeah.
Which towns pay 2%?
I don't know.
3%?
I haven't had to do it yet.
2%, 3%, whatever they pay. It's I have it here on a text from a girl from the bank that told me before.
Okay.
So you borrow that money at 3%. Wait, you would have just saved 2%, right? Because you already had the money if everybody paid you. You follow what I'm saying? If everybody paid, you never have to borrow that money at 2% or 3%.
If everybody paid their taxes.
If everybody paid their taxes. Right. So the ones that are costing you money are the ones that aren't paying their taxes on time.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So why should the ones that do it right suffer for those? Just think about it. Don't give me an answer. Just think about it. And come back next week and think about it and say, if everybody paid their bills, it would be an ideal world.
Oh, no. Geez. Trust me.
I know.
I've let you in on some...
Yeah.
Business has been better for me over the past, I'd say, 8 years, once I finally got rid of some dead weight. But there's some businesses that have totally just shanked me.
Yeah.
And taken advantage of me being nice. And I will never go on the radio and say their names, but they're not advertising here anymore. But there's been some of
them aren't even here anymore.
There's a bunch that are out of business. There's some places that are still in business that really raked me over the coals financially.
Yeah.
And I would go in and be like, you owe me $4,000. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But I would never walk into their place of business and do whatever they do and not pay them.
Right. Go charge it.
Yeah, I can't imagine, going out to eat and being like, I'll pay in a couple months. Things are tough. Thanks for the steak. Or go into a store and buy something off them and be like, you know what? See me in about 6 months. I've got some bills to pay.
I get a great story.
But that's happened to me, and it's very frustrating. So there's some places that I don't have them on the radio anymore. One guy, he's in Claremont. I'm not gonna say who he is. He has owed me $4,000. We had to write it off, and then he built up another $2,000 because he promised I'll do it. Yeah, you know what? That's a lot of money that it cost me. I hate it. So I've stopped being nice, and I hate not being nice. You know me. I want to be nice to everybody. I really do. And it just drives me nuts.
I feel the same way. I want to help anybody I can. You call me up and you need something, more than likely I'm going to make it happen.
There's another guy that stiffed me for about $4,000, and I just ran into him at a restaurant up in West Lebanon a few weeks ago. And he's like, I know I still owe you money. I'll get caught up. And
but at least he remembered it.
Oh, yeah. Sure he remembered. But he doesn't mean it because he hasn't even paid me $10. Like, you know where I work. Here's my address. Mail me a check for $10. Show me something.
Make me feel good about it.
You've given me nothing. Like, I'm tired of hearing the words and seeing no action. You can tell me a million times that you're going to do something. Until you actually start doing it, I'm not going to believe it. So when he said, I'm going to pay you off one of these days, I actually looked at him. I'm like, yeah, right. And I just turned around. I'm like, I'm not even going to talk to you. And I like the guy. Like, I legitimately like the guy, and that's the problem. But, I still have bills. So
sometimes you get
sorry that your stupid store went out of business, and because you kept it like trash.
Sometimes you get just so mad. I had a guy that sent a carpenter that worked for him over with his car carrier from Vermont. He bought $1,700 worth of lumber because, it was more reasonable when we sold it than it was if he bought it elsewhere. Brought the lumber back on this guy's own car carrier. Built the building. Sent him a bill while he was down in Jamaica or something, smoking weed or whatever he was doing. And so I called 2 or 3 times. He doesn't bother to pay. So I went over. I got a little welder buddy in Claremont. I took him and his family, and we went to his mother's restaurant, which he cooked in, and he was part owner. And when I got done, I signed a slip and walked out the door. Well, they told me they're going to take me to small claims court, but they made Red go to small claims court. They got the wrong Kevin Onnela.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I got back probably 3 of us back 10, 15 years ago, maybe $150 out of $1,700, and they wanted to go to court over it. But so I would be your IAA in Leominster, I guess. I went to the Selectmen's meeting last Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
and we've got a new culvert going in our town. So this is the minutes of the meeting. This isn't the approved ones, but this is the ones that have already been written. Kevin Onnela voiced concerns surrounding the board's choice of contractor to install the Mill Road Bridge. The board awarded the bid to Daniels Construction at a higher rate than the bid received from K.A. Stevens. Mary explained timing was a key as Daniels was available to install it this fall. Well, I don't know how that started because I do know that Josh Stevens was moving from Henniker this week to there to do it if he got it. So
Okay.
Darrell explains Stevens' bid did not include them supplying the pipes that cost to be borne by the town at an estimated cost of $12,000. The difference between the two bids. No, the difference was $16,000, and Josh was going to supply the gravel and the material for that, and the town had to supply it for. So I mean, and they don't care what the price is. Now I wonder if these people, like Mary said, she explained the timing was key. When she went out to buy a new car, if somebody's going to charge her $16,000 more, would she just pay that and say, "Oh yeah, it doesn't make any difference"? So, but government does not care what they spend. It's our money. It doesn't cost them anything. Well, they don't say it costs them anything, but it does in reality because it goes on their taxes too. But their taxes are a small percentage of what the people who have accumulated something in the town. And I have a hard time with this type of garbage. So, but they don't really care, and so we're going to make our decision, whatever we want to do.
I mean, they do have the ability to do that.
Yeah,
that's not out of their purview.
Yeah.
So,
but don't you have to have a reason not to take the lowest bid? An actual.
I don't know if you have to actually have a reason or if you can select. I mean, it's.
Well, so and so's my buddy. I want my buddy to do it.
It's due diligence. You obviously have a fiscal responsibility to your taxpayers to try to do the best service and also to save them money
and get the best job.
Yeah.
You need to get the best job. There's no question about that.
Right. So, hiring Steve Smith to put in a box culvert is a terrible idea. I might bid it at $500 and do a terrible job and not know what I'm doing.
Right.
I might not be qualified. So hiring me is a bad option.
Well,
though I might have the lowest.
But
bid.
if all these people had worked for the town previously, and both had done great jobs, you would think you would hire, the ones that. I mean, I watched the sidewalk deal out here go down. I think that was a travesty of justice because they were, they were either going to go to court or he's just going to go do it, and it would cost about the same either way. So, I suppose you could countersue for your attorney's fees, but you never know what a court of law is going to say. So that's a scary thing. But yeah. Yes.
I have noticed, so I'm in my second year as a selectman, that, and I had this explained to me by a friend of mine that's in the government down in D.C. And he had said that doing anything in government to make a change is like turning a Freightliner on a dime. It just doesn't happen. If you're going to turn a Freightliner in the ocean, it moves very slowly. You eventually turn it, but you got to make slow moves because nothing moves fast in government. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's why the federal government does what it does, and da-da-da-da-da. But even on the local level, and I'm happy with everybody that we have. Like, I think we got a great board. We've got good employees. Like, the town, everybody's on the same page for the most part. Like, but still trying to make a change, you can't. It's not instantaneous, and even if everybody's on the same page, it's still a slow-moving animal.
Yeah, this week they talked about they were going to buy a new truck because they appropriated the money to buy a new truck, but then they could fix the old truck because they can't get the truck that they really want. The one that they priced it on really isn't a good choice because towns are having problems with them.
Oh, okay.
And so they decided that they can put $2,500 into the old truck, and they're gonna make that go another year, and then they can maybe appropriate some more money to make this all work. And, which is made common sense to most everybody. I mean, if you can have a work truck for $2,500 a year, that's cheap. I mean,
Yes.
a 10-year truck, if you rented it for every year for $2,500 and had everything repaired on it, it would be a great deal. But so they did do that, and that was a lot smarter on their part to not just go out and buy something that's not going to work. I mean, you buy a new truck that you know is not going to work, why buy it?
Right.
So,
Right. You're just asking for trouble.
yeah.
It is 9:05 WCNLA AM Newport. Kevin Onnela.
So, Steve, I'm having a hard time understanding this whole COVID deal.
Oh, it was created in a laboratory.
Yeah, I know
Next.
it was. No, it was bats. It was bats. Talking to a friend of mine last week who got jabbed, he said if he is in direct contact with someone who has active COVID, he does not need to quarantine, even though he can still catch and pass it on. So, if now I'm unvaccinated, so if I have it, I have to quarantine. And if I pass it on to you, you don't have to quarantine because you've had the jab.
Now, who's making him quarantine? His employer?
I think the government.
The government isn't making anybody quarantine anymore.
They're not?
No.
But they were they? Well, why would he come out and say this to me?
I don't know. Maybe it's his employer.
Well, he's self-employed.
Oh, I don't know. The state of emergency is over, so there's no.
The state of emergency is over?
Yeah, the governor ended the state of emergency. So therefore, all the rules that were set beforehand, they sunsetted.
Huh.
So that's why, there is no mask mandate in the state. But there are, Lebanon has a mask mandate. Cities and towns have the ability to implement their own mask mandate.
Yeah.
But there's no mandate from the state now.
So I got this letter from it's from Presque Isle, Maine.
Okay.
It's Northern Light Health. It says, "Dear blank, in a letter dated Tuesday, August 24th, 2021, A.R. Gould Hospital indicated its understanding of your decision to refuse both the COVID vaccination as well as the influenza vaccination. We further indicate that we would terminate your employment effective Tuesday, August 31st, 2021, bearing indication within that 7-day period you would agree to become compliant with the requirements of Maine's vaccination law. Because we received no such indication, A.R. Gould Hospital moved forward with termination of your employment effective August 31st, 2021. As part of your recruitment package, A.R. Gould offered you and you agreed to accept a $6,000 lump sum bonus to cover relocation expenses in return for a 3-year work commitment at the hospital. Your date of hire was December 6, 2020. You therefore successfully completed only 25% of your overall work commitment. In accordance with our agreement, you are responsible for reimbursing A.R. Gould Hospital for the remaining 75% of the bonus, which equates to $4,500. If you are unable to provide this reimbursement in a single payment, A.R. Gould is willing to work with you to establish a repayment plan. I would ask that you either provide repayment or reach out relative to a repayment plan no later than October 1st, 2021. You may contact me at essentially Joseph S. Sadaki. So this person, because they know they're going to go to work, and they said they'd go to work, I don't believe it said anywhere in there that they agreed previously that they'd have this vaccination to work there. And now,
businesses have the rights to require vaccinations.
But do they have the right to break a contract? The person's ready to work there. They're still ready to work there.
It sounds like he's breaking a contract.
Who?
This person that he's
No, they're ready. That person's still ready to work there.
Okay.
They want to work there, but they don't want the vaccination. You should have my body, my choice, right?
I don't know. I mean, that's the big question right there. Is your body your choice? Does that supersede the public good? Like, if everybody in America said we don't want polio vaccines anymore, We don't want scarlet fever. We don't want, mumps. No, America doesn't want these vaccines anymore. Is that the right thing for America? Do we want to have outbreaks of mumps everywhere?
Do some people not have the mumps vaccination?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the difference?
It's minute.
Well, this is minute. As far as I'm concerned, they're telling me 75% of the people are vaccinated.
But that's not minute. I mean, it's like 0.001% of Americans don't have the mumps vaccine.
But I mean, that one person you come in contact can give you the mumps, right?
What do you mean?
That one. If you're vaccinated, you won't catch them anyway, right?
With mumps.
Yeah.
Mumps and measles.
So if this COVID vaccination worked like the mumps, I'd probably have it. Mm-hmm. You can't catch it, you can't give it. Right. I know my temperature this morning was 97.5, and Fucci told me 2 years ago that if I just took my temperature, I'd be all set.
Right.
Yeah, but he apparently didn't know what he's talking about.
So, like mumps, measles, smallpox, chickenpox, they have all vaccines. Those are different than. So COVID is like the flu. It's like influenza.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's mutating. We got these different variants.
So the CDC just came out this week. Afghans arriving in U.S. infected with measles, malaria, and tuberculosis.
See, exactly. There you go. Because
the CDC said this. Mm-hmm. And we're still letting them in.
Okay.
The Haitians at the border.
But if we let somebody in with mumps and measles or whatever, well, you said measles.
Yeah.
If I come in contact, I'm not going to get measles. I got them. I've been vaccinated when I was a baby.
Oh, your measles vaccination works. That's the difference between that and COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, measles vaccine's been around for 100 years. So it's been tested. Mm-hmm. COVID vaccine has been around for 9 months.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And it's tested. It doesn't work. You've got a good opportunity for breakthrough cases, right?
You don't have a good opportunity. You have an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. But how do
you have a better chance of not getting and dying from COVID if you have the vaccine?
So you and I spend every Tuesday together. We have this little rendezvous we do on Tuesday mornings.
Right.
And when we came in here the first week, everybody was worried. We did one. You said we did one thing on.
We did one or two on Zoom.
Zoom, right? Yeah. And after that, we sat here. Did you worry that I had COVID, or did I worry that you had COVID? And you may have, I may have. We never caught it, and we may have never showed any signs, because I have a friend of mine who just had the COVID. He didn't know he had it. He just was tired a couple days.
Right.
Well, they went and had the test. He went and got his whole crew coffee and donuts and everything else, and fed them, and the whole crew went to work. Nobody caught COVID, and so do we know which people are going to get it and which people aren't going to get it?
No, it's weird. Like, this isn't like, let's be honest here. Everybody's been reacting differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's I would say that's probably the most frustrating thing. Mm-hmm. That I know people, like, for real, that have gotten COVID months ago and are still sick now. They're having a hard time beating it.
But is that psychological?
No, this is real. This is 100% real. And this is somebody that is, diehard anti-vax, didn't believe in it, and got it, and was like, oh my gosh, I am dying. Like, I am exhausted. I know other people that have gotten it, tested positive, and had very little symptoms, a sniffle, that's it, maybe a runny nose. Or have lost the taste. I know a guy that still, months later, can't taste food, which sounds miserable.
The two fat boys.
And I asked him, I'm like, have you lost weight? He's like, I haven't lost weight. I thought I'd actually lose weight from this, but I still haven't lost anything. Uses like hot sauce now to get flavor. But so that's like, as a person that's watching all this happen around him, it's frustrating because you don't know what version that your body will get.
Right.
Like, you and I really honestly might have gotten it. Mm-hmm. We had it, we passed it.
I don't doubt I've had it.
And we beat it. Mm-hmm. Like, it just came and went. Mm-hmm. Probably like we've all gotten the flu before, or we've gotten the cold before. Mm-hmm. And, you just don't feel great one night. You go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, you feel fine. Your body burned it off. So if it was like chickenpox, I can see chickenpox on you. You've got these things on your face. You're itchy.
You can see mumps. They swell out.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not like that, so it's hard. It's really hard to tell. And now every one of us is an expert, and we're all scientists, and that we can watch the news and have the news tell us how we feel.
Yeah, well, I talked to my scientist, my doctor, and he's a wonderful guy, and I want to believe everything he says, and he's kept me alive and kept me going and patched me up when I needed to be patched up, and just a great guy.
Sure.
In fact, I hope he stays my doctor forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, because he's one of these guys you can talk to.
Okay.
And he's smart. But he wants me to get the vaccination. And I says, I really can't see that, because it just, if there was more things that said, I mean, why did they make these drug companies immune to lawsuits?
Oh, I know.
If they're so sure of this.
Right.
Would you do that?
No, that's the funny thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, and we have our southern border. 20% of the people, they say, that are coming from South America have COVID.
Okay. So what's that matter?
Well, they're going to move it into the country more and more, because.
But they're not citizens, so you can't make a law.
Why do we let them in?
That is not.
Wait a minute, Steve.
That's not a COVID issue, though.
I got to have a vaccination to go into the hospital.
Right.
I'm going to have my eyes chopped out here next month.
Right.
And if I don't have a vaccination, I have to take a COVID test before I go there to do this. Okay. Now, a friend of mine. His wife and him were going out of the country on a plane. She had to have a COVID test, and she hadn't been out. She's a wonderful lady. You know her, I know her. They feed us, and so she went and had her COVID test. She got a positive, right? She hadn't been out with anybody. She hadn't been anywhere. Only person she'd been with her husband. So they said you can't go out of the country. So she went and had another COVID test. It was a negative. Well, that doesn't matter. So she went and had another one. She had 2 negatives and 1 positive. She still could not go out of the country.
Yep.
Is that right?
That is the airplane and the country's right to limit.
Should you?
So the correlation between illegal immigrants and COVID, I can't stand behind that, because they're still illegal immigrants. So you can't enforce a law on somebody that's breaking the law.
You can't enforce the law on somebody breaking the law?
Like, you can't let somebody in illegally and then enforce a different law on them.
So they're liable to go, if I want somebody killed, I just go get an illegal and have them kill him, right?
That's what's happened.
You can't enforce the law.
You can't say, hey, the government can't say, we're going to let you illegally come in here, but we got to test you first. How does that work?
Now I have to be tested before I go into a
Because you're legal. Because you're doing things legally.
So I should renounce my citizenship and just live here illegally?
How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
You can't.
I'm looking to do it.
You can't do that. How are you going to do it? Explain to me how that works. Walk me through it. You can't. It can't happen. You're not Tina Turner. Tina Turner is not an American citizen anymore.
I know.
She
She's
renounced her citizenship.
Switzerland.
She's a Swiss, because she actually followed through with her threat, and unlike everybody else.
So if I had a dual citizenship, I'd only have to obey the laws half the time?
Yeah, you'd have to do double laws.
So now we got this Representative Ilian Omar, D. Minnesota, and she tells MSNBC that we owe the Haitians the right to seek asylum here. We owe that to them. Do we owe it? I mean, people that you did ads for, they owe you. I know that. You know that.
They owe me.
They owe you. They owe you big time. We will never forget, right?
I will never forget.
We will never forget. We're like 9/11. September 11th.
No, you can say 9/11.
Well,
that guy last week was 9/11.
Yeah.
That doesn't I don't say today is 9/21. That didn't make any sense.
But she says we owe them. We don't owe them. We owe the people in our country the right for freedom, but we don't owe them. It's just.
I go back and forth on that.
We do owe them?
Kind of.
Why? We owe the black people in the Tuskegee experiment. We owe them. We killed their families. The government killed their families.
Right.
They injected them with syphilis. They suffered. They didn't do anything to fix them.
So
let's go back one more step.
Give me 1 second, please. Okay. On the Statue of Liberty, it says, "Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses learning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed, to me. and I left my lamp beside the golden door.
Yeah, that's what France said.
But that's
what France said. This isn't what the United States said.
That's what America stands for. That's what America stands for.
No, Steve. France put this on this Statue of Liberty, which they gave to us and put in our New York harbor. It was nothing to do with the Americans. It's great for them to say, give us your Heil,
Give us your tired, your
whatever,
door.
Prior de poor.
Yeah.
We've got our tired. It's the people at work. So this past week, a friend of mine went to Brown's Furniture in Lebanon last week with her sister to check on her table. Her sister ordered. Sign on the door said, mask recommended, right? Recommended.
Right.
That's the big word, recommended. My friend went in unmasked and was looking at a living room set she wanted to buy. Salesman come over and told her she needed to mask up. She told him, you just lost the sale of this living room set. You go, girl. She did what should be done there. Walk out. I avoid places that say mask required.
Oh, I know.
And I'm glad that they're not getting my business.
That's happening now. That's where the country splits. That if, like, Lebanon is a perfect example right now. Mm-hmm. West Lebanon, you go, there's signs on every door, mask mandate per Lebanon city ordinance. Mm-hmm. And the city has that right. And the people in the town or city of Lebanon have the right to implement that. Mm-hmm. That's their right. Mm-hmm. And so you as a consumer have the right to either shop in Claremont or shop in Lebanon. Mm-hmm. So if you need to go to a store and you don't want to put a mask on, then don't go to Lebanon. Yeah. But if you're going to go to Lebanon, follow the rules.
Yeah. Now, the White House came out with last week, and Jen, whatever her name is.
Saki. I can never say her name.
Moron. She said border crossers are exempt from vaccine. The White House said they don't have to. They don't intend to stay. They don't intend to stay? Why are they coming here? For vacation?
Exactly.
Do they have... My mom and dad went to Key West, and all I got was this lousy T-shirts that they're coming to get those, take them back to the kids?
They just want a delicious chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A.
One thing I heard good, though, was Montana has banned COVID vaccinations as a condition of employment.
Okay.
Why doesn't New Hampshire do that?
It's up to the state legislators. So if you have an issue, contact your local legislator.
Maybe we should.
If that's what you want, then that's the way they make it happen is you contact your local representative.
So when we go to bed at night, we watch television. So the Emmys were on the other night, right?
Do you watch that?
My wife was, and that's fine. It's 50%. It's half her house. Well,
I know.
Probably 75% her house and probably 25% mine. So, because she mows the lawns. So, you realize there was a 73rd Emmys, not a single mask in attendance. Mm-hmm. Of all those people, no social distances, but a lot of hugging, kissing. Is that going to be a super spreader? Is that going to be like Sturgis?
So, I find that stuff interesting because, like, when I went to see Willie Nelson a couple weeks ago, you had to prove that you were vaccinated. Mm-hmm. So that's what places have been doing. But then now we have the breakthrough cases, and then you have places that require mask no matter your vaccination status. So, like, if you go to the University of New Hampshire, you have to wear a mask no matter your vaccination status. But you can go to the Emmys or you can go to a concert and just prove that you've been vaccinated, and then you're fine. Mm-hmm. I do worry that we're going to slip back into mandatory masks no matter where you're at, no matter your status of vaccination.
This is pretty neat. Print from 1886. Still stands true today. This is from Sean. It says, there is room in America and brotherhood for all who will support our institutions and aid in our development. But those who come to disrupt our peace and dethrone our laws are aliens and enemies forever.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. I'm not sure if this is a picture of the Statue of Liberty. I don't know if it's written on the Statue of Liberty also.
What, that?
Yeah.
No, it's New Colossus.
Huh?
The New Colossus is on Statue of Liberty.
Huh. I just I don't dare to download a preview from Mike Hurd. I'm afraid to be too loud. So I want to say something nice that I saw this Saturday.
Sure.
I had a box for John Danker way up in Canaan, way up in Canaan. 50 miles an hour is way up in Canaan. That's a long way.
Yes.
So I went up, picked up the box, and I took it down to dump it. So I knew that triathlon was going on around Lake Sunapee.
Oh, okay.
They had bikes, swimming, and running.
Oh.
So I wanted to get there early, and I didn't get there quite early enough. So I went north, and I came back down through in Springfield there, and I took a left by the store there in George's Mills and headed out to go down the backside of the lake so I wouldn't see any of the people. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't see any bikes coming down the hill, didn't see any ahead of me, but when I got around the corner, there was bicyclists riding. And they were going down the backside of the lake, too, which is kind of a skinny road for garbage truck and bicyclists and stuff. But I want to tell you what, those bicyclists were the most polite bicyclists I've ever seen in my entire life. They were all out there racing. They tried to stay to the edge of the road. I tried to give them plenty of room. Mm-hmm. I apologized to any of them who, my old Mac, she smokes a little bit when she's going up a hill and I don't have her revved up enough. And they probably had to breathe some smoke. But they were just like wonderful people there. I mean, those bicyclists were perfect. You know, they're not the Saturday, let's go for a ride, 2-3 wide up Route 10 and out in the middle of the road. These were actual bicyclists who did a great job. So.
Well, those are also people that are competing in an event that want to probably see the event happen again next year. Mm-hmm. So they know that we're using this road, but we have to respect it.
But they're not always that way, bicyclists, because not this weekend, but the weekend before, they had a bicycle race that went up through the wind farm. Right?
Oh, okay.
And the guy's a baker down in Alstead, and he asked me about doing it, and I said, well, look at the road coming up the hill because it's washed out, and you might not be able to even make it up there. So he never got back to me, so I didn't know what was going on. He was supposed to give me some money for St. Jude's. I think he forgot that, but it's so we had a couple that went to my daughter's house, and they wanted to go see the windmills. Well, she didn't know them all that well, so she said, yeah, just park at the gate there and walk up and see the turbine, and you'll be all set. Well, they had little kids with them, and one of the little kids were bent down picking up rocks in the road. All these bicyclists, these women come down around the corner, and they're calling the kids a bunch of S-heads.
Really?
You know, but then there was some other bicyclists that came behind them that stopped to make sure the kids were okay, you know. So I think we're going to end that bicycle race. We've done it 3 or 4 years now in a row, and there's a couple reasons why we're all done doing it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolute shame. It's 9:28. I'm going to take a break. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, okay, go whiz.
I do have to go. It's WCNL Country, AM 1010 and FM 94.7. And we're back. It's more Kevin Onnela, 9:28.
Steve, did you realize there's 15,000 Haitian immigrants in that Del Rio camp?
Oh, really? 15,000?
15,000.
Holy cow.
And they've been moving out. They moved out like 2,500. They shipped them to different places, so we don't know where they are.
Now, it's not just Haitians, though, right?
Well, there's 15,000 Haitians.
Okay.
Biden administration officials began to quietly telling journalists Monday that they will release many of the roughly 15,000 Haitian migrants in Del Rio camp. Why don't they remember when they were coming out of Afghanistan and they could only get half the people out, but they took one of those planes and they put 700 people on them? This would only take like 20 planes to get them all back to Haiti, right?
So, now why are they coming through Mexico?
I don't know. They must have had travel visas to get to Mexico, right? They must have had, because Haiti's not hooked to Mexico, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So
I had seen a news story about the Haiti stuff this morning. I'm trying to find it.
But I mean, can our country take this kind of stuff? We don't know who they are. We don't know what they. I mean, I realize it's racist because they're black people, not brown people, right? Wouldn't that be racism? The brown people are coming from South America, and the Haitians are black. So won't this be racist?
I don't even know. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says images of U.S. border agents chasing down Haitian migrants on horseback are horrific. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
So this is what she says.
I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate.
So video shows agents chasing migrants close to the Rio Grande in Del Rio, Texas, where thousands of migrants have been camping underneath a bridge. One agent swings a whip or a cord at migrants, yelling at them to get back into Mexico. Some Democratic lawmakers are calling for accountability, and the Department of Homeland Security says that they will investigate.
Think that's bad? You should have grown up when I grew up. We had East and West Germany. They used to shoot people that went across that wall. Mm-hmm. But they kept
the communists did.
Yeah.
The bad guys shot the people.
Yeah,
the good guys didn't.
Yeah.
So
well, the East Germans wanted them.
The good guys didn't shoot the bad.
Well, you don't
didn't
shoot your
people.
cousin.
So we shouldn't be shooting people either. Is that what you're saying, that we should be shooting people across the border? So we need to be like the communists?
No, but I say when we capture them, build a tray mache and launch them back into Mexico.
Really?
But you can't do that.
You're so heartless.
I know I am, really.
Why are you so heartless?
I am. Anybody I know, I don't think that I'm entitled to what you have. I don't think I can go out and get in your car and just drive away and say, yeah, that's my car now.
I understand that.
I don't think I should be able to come and take your food off of your table and say, yeah, now that's my food. You don't get that anymore.
I mean, I understand that.
And I don't think I should be able to live free here in your house because, because you have a border, you have a door. You're a mean person, Steve Smith.
But they shouldn't be living free. They should come and be part of society.
And that's the way it's going to be? Now, wait. What do they have for talents? They college educated?
It doesn't matter.
High school educated?
They're willing to work when Americans are fat and lazy and don't want
to. They're all willing to work?
Sure.
Apparently you're missing some of the emails.
What we should do is, again, go back to my IAA, and then all of a sudden...
There you go. That would solve that problem. You are absolutely right there, and I agree with you 100%.
Then they would be contributing.
But
they'd be paying taxes, just like everybody else.
So what is that group there from Mexico that are up here with the gangs? And I don't think they're going to be paying taxes on what they steal, are they?
What they steal, but
something 13.
Oh yeah,
I can't think of the name of them.
Oh darn it!
They're in the Democratic cities. We don't have them here.
What is it called?
I can't think of it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, if they steal, they're eventually going to spend money, have a nationwide sales tax. And then at least they're contributing that way.
Well, they're not going to spend money. They're going to spend money to buy their dope, and those people aren't going to take out taxes.
They're still going to, but the drug dealers are
MS-13.
MS-13.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. So, but the drug dealers are still going to make money. They're going to buy things. So when they're buying the brand new Maserati, 10% sales tax to the government.
Are they going to buy their Maserati? Or are they going to steal it?
No, they're going to buy it.
You sure?
They're going to flaunt it in their Rolex watches and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
Nationwide sales tax. Do it.
Yeah.
Get rid of the IRS.
I've said that for years.
Abolish the IRS.
Imagine some guy like me who buys a truck for $2,750 has to pay 10% on that, $275. Right. It'd work out great for me. But
I'll say hi to Jeff, who is listening. He enjoys your Old Man's Junk commercial. He just said that commercial quote is hilarious.
Jeff, stop, will you? Don't laugh at these people, because it's every time I'm in the truck and it goes off, I have to shut the radio off.
I've never gotten more compliments. People just love you.
Yeah.
They gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No. So this Aurora James made this AOC dress. Did you see that? Tax the rich.
Tax the rich. She's an idiot.
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh my gosh.
But this Aurora James, the designer,
okay,
she owes the government hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. Now, if I owed the government hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax, they'd probably come take and put me in a federal penitentiary.
What's her name?
Aurora James.
James?
Yeah. Aurora James.
All right, let's see.
But
let's see what the New York Post has to say. Oh, she owes in multiple states.
Yeah, and the people that worked for it said she was like a tyrant.
Her company ranked up 3 open tax warrants in New York State for failing to withhold income taxes from employees' paychecks totaling $14,798, says the State Department of Taxation and Finance for New York. Looks like there's also a lien for $103,000 from April of 2018 to April 2019 for her, too. Yeah, so tax the rich.
Tax the rich, right. And she is the rich.
Is she?
Oh, I didn't get this in when we were talking about COVID. You realize there's hundreds of Navy SEALs who are going to be let go for not taking the vaccine? There was only 2,500 SEALs in all.
Wow. Released to the wild, huh? No? Different SEAL?
Navy SEALs.
Oh, Navy SEALs. I'm sorry.
Hundreds of Navy SEAls. I started that sentence off with, they're going to be let go for not taking the vaccine. There was only 2,500. Now, don't you think those people are probably pretty smart and pretty good shape and ready to go?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to walk up and tell one that you're a jerk for not taking the vaccine because it'd probably break my nose, blacken my eyes, and knock my teeth out.
Yeah, I've never met a Navy SEAL, but I know enough not to mess with a Navy SEAL.
Reputation precedes them, doesn't it? Yeah, so.
Yeah. I did get to know a Green Beret who was in Panama back in the 80s, and that was interesting. I wouldn't mess with him either.
It seems like I've known Chris Kyle all my life.
Yeah.
I read the book, and I read the book again, watched the movie, so.
Hey, I bought a book.
No.
I did.
Comic book.
No, I bought a book.
No,
a
comic
book with no pictures.
No, say it's not true.
I ordered it through Jeff Bezos.
Oh,
I ordered it. Yeah. This is why I can't be left alone.
You like my wife.
Hey.
I leave her alone. She buys an apartment house.
My choice of TV is suspect. So Christine went to bed early. What was it? Saturday night, Sunday night? I think it was Sunday night. It doesn't matter. She went to bed early. Smart was up in her bedroom, so I'm watching TV. There's nothing on TV that I care about watching at all. Like, zero things. So I'm watching C-SPAN. And I watch a half hour of Chris Christie giving a political speech.
He's good. I like talking with him.
You do like talking with him. So I watched his speech. He did a very good job. And then I watched a book discussion on C-SPAN. Like, talk about nerd. I really need to get a life. And it was this documentary guy that wrote a book about Thomas Sowell.
Yeah.
Sowell?
Yeah, he's a writer.
Yes.
Yeah, good guy. Sharp.
Very sharp.
I read him a lot.
So...
Black.
Yeah. And he's been ostracized from the African American community.
Yeah, Uncle Tom.
Because he basically says we shouldn't be giving blacks free stuff. They should work for it. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. I mean, it's not all racism stuff, but the book that I ordered is his favorite book, and it talks about, and I really can't wait to read it. And I hope it's not too intellectual for me. Like, I hope it's easy to read.
You mean to say if the first two sentences don't catch your attention, you're going to set it down and never look at it again?
I hope it's not like that Ron Paul book that I let you borrow.
Yeah, that wasn't a lot of...
That was too thick.
Yeah.
It was hard to read.
I still have that, don't I?
Yeah.
I'll get that back.
I'm not missing it. But it sounds like there's two different types of people, like two different philosophies, and I can't wait to figure that stuff out. So once I know more about it, then I'll report back to you.
Okay.
But I wanted to let you know. I almost texted you. I almost texted you a screenshot and being like, I'm ordering a book, because I know that you'd be happy. And again, no pictures.
I haven't read like I usually do. I've been discouraged with the world. You know, sometimes you get that way. You know, probably.
It's a good
I'll
one.
get that back to you.
You should read it.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
You used to read all the time.
I know I did. But I have a hard time seeing.
Yeah.
But there's good news. On the horizon, I think it's the 21st or the 27th, they're going to chop my eyeballs out. Give me new ones. So.
You're getting cow eyeballs?
I hope so. Yeah. Girl says to me, she said, boy, you got nice big eyes. You can really see those and big veins. I says, yeah, you ought to see it when I get mad. But no, they're gonna do that, and I'm going to get rid of my cataract so I can see.
Yep.
So look out, you guys that shoot against me next year, because I'm probably going to go to the top of the heap.
That was all of your problem.
I don't know.
It's
No,
100%.
No, I'm a lousy shot. That's what really my problem.
I mean, you had a busted up hand this past year.
Quiver a little bit. My knees hurt, and you shake all over, and so.
But you couldn't see.
Couldn't see, right? I could see good enough to see my neighbor's target.
Well, yeah. There's that.
I don't think anybody had any more fun shooting in that league than I did. So, hey, what did you think of that J6 protest this weekend?
I didn't hear anything about it.
Because it's not Black Lives Matter. We didn't burn any cities. We didn't knock down any police stations. We didn't take any federal courthouses over. They had, 100 people went down there and protested, and they had fences up, and they had the military there. They had this there because Nancy Pelosi was scared that the people don't like her. And in case she doesn't know it, they do not like her, just so she's clear about that.
Yeah, she has terrible polling numbers.
Yeah. I wonder, who would the military and law enforcement stand with when the feds, against the feds? If you know people in the military or in law enforcement, ask them. Just get an opinion. Don't give a name. Just give an opinion. And just, how do you feel about that? I mean,
yeah, I wonder about that question.
Because you have to wonder where the divide's going to come in this whole deal.
Right.
And we're going to have a divide. We're going to have to get away from this federal government and this government we have. And like you said, if we went to a sales tax, national sales tax, that's the way to go.
Yep. All right, so posing the question. So if things were to happen today, this minute to this day, with the administration that we have, you're asking the question, where would the military fall? Would they fall towards conservatism and more Republican values, or would they follow their orders and follow the commander-in-chief? I've thought about that. I don't know where that lands. Like, do you follow the oath that you've signed on for and protect America, and regardless of the political party, the person at the White House is your commander-in-chief? Or do you follow where you find your morals going, which then would become a coup?
But, I have a friend who's off right now. He's on active duty. And he says he found one person in his entire platoon that he thought, or platoon or whatever they call it, group, that he thought would probably go with the government. He says, because most of these people are conservative thinking. I mean, the votes from the service for Trump were overwhelming this time. Right out straight. But you have to decide. You have to figure out. I mean, Brent and I are talking. We're friends, right? And if somebody's going to harm him, I'm going to stand up for him.
Right.
And I'm sure he's going to stand up for our way of life. And I have.
I would hate to put a local spin on this and speak for somebody.
Yeah, but
without having their representation.
Right. You're right. But I have friends in Pennsylvania who are police officers, and I know he stands right in the exact same spot I do, and he can't understand why we have open borders. I don't mind people coming here. You don't mind people coming here, but let's check them out before they come here. Let's make sure they're healthy, right? Let's at least give them an exam and see if you're healthy. I mean, when they came through Ellis Island, they had to all have all had to be checked.
Yeah,
I mean, captain in the Army.
Definitely, if they're going to be healthy, you want to make sure they have their shots, right?
Yeah.
Get their vaccine.
Yeah.
That's important.
Make sure that's true.
Because it wouldn't want to make you sick.
Yeah. I'm a captain in the Army. There will be a few. I will follow orders. The rest of us will not fire on American citizens.
It's a telling thing when you watch videos of the January 6th debacle. I don't know how to. It's not. I don't think of it as an insurrection. I don't think it's a coup, but I also don't think it was right.
Right. But was Seattle right? The courthouse.
I don't care about Seattle. I'm not talking about them.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about them. I didn't bring them up.
I know.
Well, I'm talking about one single instance.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is if you watch videos that weren't on TV, you see the police opening the doors to these people and standing down and letting them in.
Yeah.
So there's which is wrong.
But it's our house.
But it's not our house.
It is our house. We pay for it.
Okay, so
your house, you pay for it. So can I keep you out of your house? Can I go stand in your house? Say no, Steve, you're not coming anymore. I put my hand on your forehead. You come up the steps. I push you back down on the ground.
Then you have the right to sleep at the town hall in Leominster. It's your house, and you have the right to drive the fire truck because it's your truck. Do you have that right? Do you have the right to go into the fire truck and grab the keys and drive it?
No, because
you paid for it.
Yeah, but I'm not. Well, I probably do have that right because if the time came and we had a fire and somebody couldn't drive the ladder truck, I could probably drive the ladder truck down there, and I probably should have that right because it might save somebody's life.
But that's not the same circumstance as January 6th. That's not the people. It's nobody's right to break into public property.
Military will stand bound. FBI, Black Ops problem.
So I understand that it's the people's house because they're our representatives, and we pay taxes for it, but still public property. It's also my property that I pay taxes to, and I don't want people breaking my stuff. People went in and broke my stuff.
Well, this guy says I have the right to walk in the town hall and voice my concerns.
Voice your concern.
They were walking into the house
They
to
broke
voice
it.
their concerns.
Sometimes,
Sometimes the doors were open for them.
Right.
Sometimes they weren't open for them.
but it's still public property. Do they have rights to?
So you think you should be able to just tell somebody you don't want on your common here in Newport, you get off my common, I don't want you here?
No, but there's set rules. I couldn't put on a festival there without filing.
Is there a set rule that says citizens can't go into the House of Representatives?
There's open doors. I mean, there's times that's open and closed, and you have to pass through security checkpoints.
It's not like they went in the middle of the night.
Right, but there's still security checkpoints.
They
that
weren't
you have to
breaking
walk.
in. They walked through those.
There's some places that they were breaking into. You see them
Steve,
with the door shut.
there's security checkpoints when you come into the country.
Sure.
You have to go through those, don't you?
Yes.
No, not
If you're
anymore.
going to do it legally. And if you okay, so using your rule. So if not, then you're doing it illegally, correct? So
They're
what's
not
the
illegals.
difference?
They're not illegals.
You're there.
No, they aren't.
Well,
They're just walking across the border. That's not illegal. They're welcome here. Give us your tired, your poor, your.
right, and do it legally. You go through the island.
They went in the middle of the day. Mm-hmm. The House of Representatives was open until they got there.
And then they close the doors.
Then they closed the doors.
But they weren't going through the security checkpoints. We're gonna go back and forth on this continuously.
Well, I look at the country and I want all people to be equal. I want Black Lives Matter to be equal. I want the J6 people to be equal. I want the government to be equal. If I have to wear a mask, they should wear a mask. And if I have to have a vaccine, they have to have a vaccine. So I want them all to be equal. But it's not equal anymore. Look what happened in Seattle.
Sure. Nobody
The
cares
riot.
anymore.
People were killed. Mm-hmm. The only people that were killed in the J6 was that one woman who served our country in the Air Force. She was shot by a police officer. Mm-hmm. She had no weapons. It looked like she had a strange backpack. Now, is that a reason if I'm walking down Main Street today and I see somebody walking down there with a backpack, I can just pull up and shoot them because I think the backpack looks strange?
I mean, if you've got...
It could have had weapons in there, right?
They could have. It could have.
Could have, yeah.
Again, you know what?
She might have had bananas and apples to give to the Nancy Pelosi.
Sure.
Or ice cream.
And you know what? She shouldn't have been in there. It's her own fault for going in. Sorry.
So
Don't follow the masses. People have to be responsible for their own actions and take accountability for their own actions. If you know you're not supposed to be in there, you can't blame the rest of the people for walking in. You still have to be accountable for your own actions.
So in what is it, 1794? When I had that written down here someplace, I have lost it now. When was the December 16th, 1773? We had a tea party in our country to free us from tyrannical government, right?
Sure.
Now, are we at a tyrannical government point right now? I would say so.
We're getting there.
Should we have a tea
Ray
party?
Gagnon. Come on in.
Should we have a tea party now?
We can. We don't love tea as much as we used to love tea, but if you want to we tried having a tea party.
I like screwball pretty well.
Yeah, we have a screwball party. It's a different story.
Get in here and sit down.
Hi,
Ray Gagnon.
how are you?
Perfect.
Pull up a chair. Take a seat.
How you been, Dad?
It's good to see you.
Look at he gets
Good to see you.
He gets skinnier every time we see him.
I know, I wore my mask just for you.
You gonna rob me?
No,
What are you doing? What are you out in Newport for
I had
today?
to come and get the Concord Monitor.
Oh, you get it every day?
No, almost.
Now, where do you get it? Over here.
Down at the stores here, Irving and the other one there, the mobile gas
Jiffy Mart?
station.
The Jiffy
Yeah,
Mart has
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a good selection of newspapers.
Yes, they do. They do. They have the Concord Monitor, and I was telling Steve on Monday that my daughter and my wife think that I get the Monitor because I'm, missing Concord and the Concord news and stuff. But the truth is that they have an easier crossword puzzle. So
We pick smaller hills to walk up now, don't
that's
we?
it. I'm an old man. What can I get pleasure out of?
How old are you now, Ray?
I'm going to be 73 in November.
I'm going to be 70 in March.
Yeah. See, you're just a kid.
It's not the age, it's the mileage, the scars,
Yeah, I know.
the,
I know. Yeah.
dented heads and
Trust
stuff like
me,
that.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
So
So of course we got the kid over here, Stevie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like one of my children.
I know.
Same age.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Red's a year old.
But I didn't mean to come in on your show.
Ray, you're welcome here anytime
Well,
you want.
thank you.
You're one of the two liberals I really like.
Oh, good. One of the two? There's
No,
another
true.
one? Oh, true.
True
Okay.
liberals.
One of the two.
thought
No,
you
there's
said
not
two.
two of them. There's only one.
One of two.
You.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, the barn party's this weekend, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Show up, yeah.
What's going on this weekend? Some big
What am I
stuff.
doing this
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah, the barn party.
Barn party, yeah. And then my 50th college reunion's coming up. They're going to give me an award. You know?
When's that happening?
The 2nd, I think. October 2nd or October 3rd. I'm not sure. Saturday, whatever it is.
Now, where did you go to college?
It was then St. Francis College. Now it's called the University of New England. It's in southern Maine.
Southern Maine.
Yeah, Benefit Pool, Benefit Fortunes Rocks,
Yeah.
Hills Beach, that area. Yeah.
What did you major in?
History.
History?
I was a historian. Yeah, I wanted to be a history teacher at one point in my life.
Never did?
Boy, you dodged a bullet there.
I taught a little bit. I taught at school a couple years, but I was a terrible teacher.
How would you like to be 50 years from now, be a history teacher?
Oh,
To try to explain this.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I'd say.
Well,
Well, first off, I wonder how you teach history these days, because when you guys learned, where did you end learning? World War II?
wait. Oh,
No,
it depends on
no,
where. Like in high
Korean
school.
War.
In high school,
We
yeah.
were making the Vietnam War at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Right, but
high
were you
school.
learning about it?
No, not in high school. I mean, yeah, in high school you never got to the end of the book, really. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So where do you stop?
Yeah.
Where does you get to about the Civil War,
yeah.
and then you kind of rush
You
through.
usually get into the World War I and then you beginning of World War II and so
Yeah.
forth. But in college, you took courses on, just on the Second World War or
Right.
just on, the Eisenhower administration and post-World War II,
I read something last night, and I can't. And I'm horrible with names, but the guy from Virginia who was the big deal in the Civil War,
Robert Lee
Robert Lee, the one that just took his thing down.
statue.
Yeah, his dad.
Robert E. Lee, yeah.
His dad had slaves.
Yeah, so did he have slaves?
Yeah. Well, he ended up taking them over and educating them and turning them free.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's nice.
And then they just took his statue down, and he did. They say he was one of the best generals that were ever in this country. And Washington wanted to, after the war, they wanted to put him in charge of some of the.
Lincoln? Not Washington. Lincoln.
Lincoln wanted to put him in charge of the army, and he didn't want.
Oh,
to
so
do
it wouldn't be Robert Lee. Are you talking Grant?
I'm not sure which one it was, but
'Cause Robert
he was from
Lee-
Virginia.
Yeah. No, what he's meaning is that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated.
No, it was Lincoln.
President-
It was Lincoln. It was a Civil War.
Oh, before the Civil War started. Before the Civil War started, he offered Lee the more
Yeah.
or less the chief of staff.
Right,
would be the chief of staff
right.
today.
And then he went with the South.
And he said, no, my loyalties are to my home state, and I'm going to go with Virginia.
right. But then afterwards, they offered him.
After the war?
After the war,
I didn't
they
know
offered
that.
him. Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know that.
This is what I read
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I'm not sure where I was reading it.
Yeah. Because,
I read
that would have been a bit of a problem in that he was, he took up arms against the nation.
Right.
Yeah. But he had actually.
I thought he was ended up as president of some Southern Virginia University or something. Maybe Jefferson, and it became Jefferson and Lee or something like that, didn't it?
Oh, really? I don't know.
No.
But it was a pretty amazing story about him, and but he educated his.
Well, he's a fascinating guy.
Yeah,
He really was.
slaves.
He really was an interesting. He was brilliant. I mean, no question about
Oh,
it.
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah. I had a cousin who was at a military school back in the '60s, and he was saying that as part of the school curriculum was studying the tactics of Robert E. Lee. I mean, they still were studying. That's how impressed they were by his, from a military perspective. So I don't know, but. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Ray.
You've got summer shorts on. I'm here, flannel shirt. I'm ready for winter. Good for us, boy.
I guess I got to go back. I quit yesterday, but I guess I got to go back to work today. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like everything I touch, I smash.
Yeah.
I'm getting so sick of that. I hate to call my boss up and say, "Oh, this is broken now. That's broken now." I guess so. When he sees me, he just looks at me in disgust. What else did you smash now?
What now?
What now? Hey, when are we going to clean that barn out? You wanted to clean out.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. It's no, don't. Let's not go there. It causes me heartache and blood pressure problems, and It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. So
You're collecting more?
we have more. Yes, we have more. Yeah.
None of it's yours either, is it? I'm just kidding. There's some stuff in yours.
A little bit. I hear there's stuff stored away someplace that's mine. But
You've got little Jimmy Carter signs still in there.
Oh, those belong to my parents. My parents were the Carter signs. Yeah.
Do you still have any?
I think I do. I think we have some upstairs. Yeah. Upstairs in the barn.
Probably
I think
get some
so.
Jimmy Carter peanut boxes, right?
You know, yeah. My mother and father, my mother especially, loved Jimmy Carter. Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jimmy who?
Yeah. She loved him. I mean, it was. She jumped on his bandwagon right off and never left. She thought he was the cat's meow.
I thought John Kennedy was the man.
Yeah. I mean, my father was, volunteering. He would drive Mrs. Carter, Rosalind Carter, around. And one time she said, Mr. Gagnon, I hear there's lovely antique shop. And so the rest of the day they just went antiquing,
Really?
Yeah. He just took Mrs. Carter and, I don't know if she had an aide, but,
Now, this was when he was running for president?
I think so. Yeah.
I took Scott Walker
Scott Walker.
for a motorcycle ride.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And we traveled around the state of New Hampshire. We had a couple state troopers for escorts, and a bunch of bikes went. And so I'm standing on the side of the road with him. And the last day we were riding, and I was talking to the state troopers, and they were raising money for an officer with cancer, and we're talking about this and that. So I turned around to Scott Walker, and I said, Scott, why do you want to run for president? Well, he says, I think I can make a difference in the country. I says, yeah, you might be able to make a difference in the country, but you realize what we're doing here today on these motorcycles riding around New Hampshire? You'll never, ever be able to do this again.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of friends that are in the gun manufacturing. The guy out in the Upper Peninsula accused me of making Scott Walker drop out of the race.
Hey, he dropped out like 2 days later.
He did?
Yeah,
he did.
He hung out with Kevin, then he dropped out.
Well,
Chris Christie did too, didn't he?
I think people are amazed, to find out that, like my father going shopping, grocery, antiquing with Mrs. Carter. There's hundreds and thousands of stories of people in New Hampshire who've done similar things with other candidates and or their spouses. And we're so fortunate here. We meet these people, and you can size them up, as a human being. Or they come in and talk to Steve. I mean, if you were in a bigger market, would they come in? I mean, if you were like in the same station, but like in North Carolina or something, they wouldn't come and see you.
At all.
Yeah.
That's what makes New Hampshire special.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right out in front. We're the bow of the election.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we're breaking the water.
We weed out all the bottom feeders.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
And we give guys like Jimmy Carter a shot who never would have gotten a shot. I mean,
right.
They were saying, like, Jimmy who? Who's this guy?
Well, it was supposed to be Ted Kennedy's election to win, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Because didn't Kennedy and
I think it was Ted Carter. Yeah,
Ted ran in 80?
I think so, yeah. I don't remember. I've lost track of whatever, I'm an old man now. I can't remember yesterday.
Are you giving up that easy? You're going to say you're an old man?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go kicking and screaming. I'm
You
still
are?
18 years old,
Oh, you are? Yeah, there is a certain element of you that's 18, yes.
In my brain.
Yeah, I've been walking. I did my mile this morning, and I've been doing my down at the track, and so. Of course, there's these two other guys who are older than I am, and I think, oh, jeez, and they passed me. so
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I once had a state guy walking up the hill, and I was going up with the tractor trailer, and he seemed like he was walking faster than I was going because I was a little heavy.
Yeah.
I told him to slow down. You're embarrassing me.
Yeah.
So life has been good for you?
It is, and I heard you on the radio when I was coming in, and I said, I'll swing by and just wave. I didn't realize you would let me come in and talk, but...
Oh, yeah. You're welcome anytime.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Yeah. You're welcome to the barn party this weekend if you'd like to come. Bring your family.
Yeah, I'll try, yeah.
Bring your granddaughter. She must be in college by now.
She is. She's 3. She'll be 3 in November as well, so she'll be 3. Yeah.
Have you brought her up and showed her your windmills?
No. That's a good idea. That would be a nice little project to do someday. Yeah. I'll get maybe her father and I will take her.
Take a ride and check that out.
Yeah.
You still know the code of the gate?
No, I don't think I ever knew the code.
I'll text it to
No,
you.
that's all right. No. I'll go into the door.
I happen to have your phone number.
Yeah. Okay.
So
all right.
Just send that to you.
Good. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome anytime. Come over. I enjoy it. but when you were doing a show every week, I enjoyed. You were in with me one time, and
I'm a once-a-month guy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Come
how
back.
late do you stay on?
10 o'clock.
Oh,
Till,
10.
till the bell rings.
Oh, all
And I
right.
kick him out of here.
Okay.
Now I got to do an ad today.
I'm putting him to work.
I'm so sick of doing those ads. When it comes, I drive the garbage truck and I come on the radio. I shut that off. I'm sick of listening to me.
How do you think I feel with me? Like I'm all over everything.
Yeah, but you got mouth enough for 2 sets of teeth. So
Yeah, I got a small
don't.
mouth though.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Ray, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Yes.
Next time, come in earlier so we can talk about
I'll
stuff.
let you do your advertising. Yeah. Well, I'm not a political guy anymore. I'm just a friend of the people.
Yeah, but
See you later.
see you, Ray. Be safe. Have fun.
I like how nonchalant that was. I'm just a friend of the people.
Just a friend of the people, yeah.
And he just walks off.
Off into the sunset
I
he
know.
goes.
It's 10:01 WC Lane.
Ah.
All right, so you got trucks to drive and brake and.
Yeah, I guess I got to deliver a box to John Danker up in Croydon. So
Up in Croydon.
Up in Croydon.
Croydon.
Yeah. So,
All right, I don't think we fixed the world, but we tried.
no. Well, thank you for having me, Steve.
You bet.
Thank you for anybody who did listen. I think there was 3 people because I got 4 or 5 texts. So somebody was calling somebody else, tell them this, tell them that. So
There you go.
thank you.
Kevin, we'll talk to you next week.
I'll be here.